Hello, thank you for joining me. I wanted to take a minute and do something that makes me so uncomfortable, and that's talk about me. So, I've never really shared my journey with TN like this before, so I'm going to let my hair down and just let it all out and try not to cry. Okay, so I was diagnosed with trigeminal neuralgia in 2017, like 6 months before Michael and I got married. And, it was after a dentist appointment, a routine cavity filling. I experienced pain I had never felt before. I was diagnosed with endometriosis when I was 18, so I'm familiar with some amount of pain, but this was not anything I've had before. My dentist prescribed me Vicodin, and that didn't take the edge off of this pain, and that's when I knew something was seriously wrong. I was diagnosed 4 months after my first attack, which is pretty quick. When I was diagnosed with endometriosis, I got a pamphlet that said, what is endometriosis, what to expect, all those kinds of scary things. And you're looking it over and you're like, what the heck, how am I going to do this? But, the doctors are giving you a whole treatment plan and everything. When I was diagnosed with trigeminal neuralgia, I didn't get a brochure, I didn't get a pamphlet, the doctor didn't really explain it to me. He didn't tell me what to expect. He prescribed me an anticonvulsant, which is anti-seizure medication, and sent me on my way. So I got in the car and I Googled trigeminal neuralgia. I had no idea how to even say it I'm not even going to lie, like 2 years. So got in the car, I Googled it, and the first thing that came up was the suicide disease. And I was like, what? This can't be right. This can't be right. This isn't me. So I, got home and started reading and was like, no, I don't think this is right. This can't be me. So I took the anticonvulsant for a month, and I started getting some weird side effects, and I was like, I don't really think I need this anymore. This pain, I think, is going to go away. It's not that big of a deal. We're not going to worry about it. So I went on with planning my wedding, and, we got married a few months later. It was great. We're starting our life together as a married couple, and my attacks would come every 3 months, and I started to do acupuncture, which really helped in the beginning. I would do acupuncture for about a week, going every other day. I would have the needles in my face. This is my TN side, my left side. So we would put the needles in my face and then down my neck, which I am not able to do now whatsoever. But it would take the pain away for about three months at a time. So, I wasn't even sure that I had trigeminal neuralgia at that point. It didn't seem like the things that I was reading on Google. It wasn't taking over my life. I was going on with life as normal. I started going to school. I was working full-time as a paralegal. I was working out, running, doing 5Ks with my husband. We were just enjoying life. Sorry. So then, like, I would say, like, 2020, it really got bad. And the pain attacks became shorter and shorter together. I'm kind of nervous and I'm stumbling over my words. Just bear with me. So the attacks were becoming shorter and shorter, so I knew I had to do something about it. I made my first appointment with a neurosurgeon, which see a neurologist first. Don't see a neurosurgeon first. My recommendation anyway. I was so excited to see the neurosurgeon. I was ready to get this pain dealt with and move on with my life. School was becoming a little bit harder for me. I was still working full time, and I just wanted to go on with my normal life. My first appointment with the neurosurgeon was awful. When they went to do my height and my weight, they dropped the metal height scale on the back of my head, which of course caused an attack. I ended up just crying and in an ice pack when the neurosurgeon came in. I lost all of my questions. I had been waiting months for this appointment, and basically he diagnosed me with trigeminal neuralgia officially again, and told me I needed to get a brain MRI and see if there was compression and if we could do MBD. As you can probably relate, it was so overwhelming and like, what did you just say? And like, my head hurts and I'm in an attack, and it was just way too much. He then recommended I see a neurologist, so I did that. I then started taking anticonvulsants on a daily basis. The doctors my doctors didn't tell me what to expect with the anticonvulsants. They didn't tell me that I would have sudden mood swings, that suicidal ideation would become part of my daily life, that brain fog would overwhelm my brain and I wouldn't be able to think straight or keep track of the cases that I'm working on at work. And, having all these things happen and not knowing it was the anticonvulsants was so overwhelming. I'm trying to do school, I'm trying to do work, I'm trying to be a new wife, and it was just so overwhelming. So, I started getting into the Facebook support groups. That was all that I could really find. And they were really depressing. They really brought me down. I got some helpful information from there. I found out that the anticonvulsants were causing my mood swings, making me angry. And I noticed that kind of everybody in this community was all talking about suicidal ideation. Trigger warning, by the way. I think I said this in stories, but if you didn't see, trigger warning for all of this. But I just needed help. I felt so down and hopeless, and I didn't know what to do. So everybody talks about journaling and pain journaling, and I was so angry at that point that I did start journaling, but it wasn't really helping. So I wanted to share with you a journal entry from just about a year ago today, and I wanted to share with you where I was just a year ago and how much getting on my nerves has changed my life. So exactly a year ago today, I was working full-time as a paralegal. I was working remotely. I would get off work, and then I had 3 paralegal classes that I was doing to complete my paralegal certificate. So I was stretching myself to the max. I was on maxed out anticonvulsants. It was all just so much. So here's the whole journal entry is a little too much. So even for me to read out loud. So I'm just gonna choose bits and pieces. But this is kind of the cool part about journaling is I can look back to this and read this and see how much I've improved and how hopeful trigeminal neuralgia really can be. So I'm an Aquarius. If you know anything about Aquarians, we don't like to ask for help. So the journal entry starts. It's a hard thing to realize I need help in life. It's super hard to come to terms with how much help I honestly think I need. Maybe even short term. I need someone to drive me to appointments, run errands for me, walk the dog. It's all too much for me. No one should experience this pain, but the loneliness it creates is even scarier. It feels like no one will ever know. You only have one option, Jessica. Survive. So get used to it. Why does my heart sink reading that? That's a lot for me. It's a lot for me to remember how much I was hurting that day and how alone I felt and how I just didn't know how I was going to survive with trigeminal neuralgia. Okay, I'm gonna try to get it together. That same day was the first time I reached out to the Facial Pain Association. They're kind of the only place that's available in the US that is in charge of facial pain. There's no one really else to reach out to. So I sent them a DM and I asked them if they had any resources for mental health counseling. The reply I got was, "Hi, Jessica. All questions that you have need to be directed via email." I was so hurt and heartbroken in that moment. Maybe that was an auto reply, but to reach out to the only place that's supposed to be there for help and then they're not helping you, it's like, well, crap, where else do I reach out? Who else do I reach out to? Michael and my best friend Corinne really just gave it their all and knew that I needed help. Corinne introduced me to the world of positive journaling and meditation and crystals. And I sound like a crazy hippie right now, but seriously, it changed my entire trajectory. I started my first positive journal on May 17th and just starting my day with saying how many things I'm grateful for all day long really, really helped. Just redirecting my energy and my focus and how I could get myself through this, because I was the only one that could get myself through this. There was no association that was out there that was going to help me. So fast forward, I realized that the anticonvulsants were really not working for me, and the side effects were getting to be too much. And so I stopped taking the anticonvulsants. I now take muscle relaxers and opioids, and I manage with cannabis, which really works for me. I ended up leaving my job of 3 years in July. And, go back. I graduated school in June. I did it through the anticonvulsants, through all that bullshit. I did it. I was so freaking proud. I'm still so proud, and I'm amazed that I got through it. And anyone that's going through school, this was, again, something that I didn't recognize, but I didn't recognize that disability accommodations applied to me. Trigeminal neuralgia is a disability. It's a disabling condition. So if you're in school, if you're at work, get the help that you need. Request the help that you need. It's there. You deserve it, and it's going to make things easier. So I graduated in June, and then I ended up leaving my job in July. I requested disability accommodations. I was already working from home, by the way, and just requested to not go back into the hybrid model that they were adapting to and just continue to work from home. And my boss said no. That was another kind of jab to the heart, because it was like, I've been there for 3 years. I'm a great worker. And it just felt like I was, being shunned because now I have trigeminal neuralgia. And I was sharing with the closest people in my life how much it was affecting me and how hard it was to get through. And everyone in my personal life kind of sentenced me to life. They put me in prison. No one showed up to help, including my family. Michael and I are all by ourselves doing this thing and figuring this thing out by ourselves. And it's been hard. It's still hard every single day, but we're doing it. I blame this on graduating school, but August 2021, getting on my nerves was born. I realized that we need pamphlets. We need awareness. People need to know what the hell this thing is so that they can help us, so that they know what it is. They know how much we're suffering, and that we're on anti-seizure medication when we don't have seizures. Like, what? Okay, whatever. We're not even going to talk about that. So I started brainstorming. Like I said, Michael and I love to do 5Ks. And I knew there wasn't one for trigeminal neuralgia. So we started brainstorming. Michael came up with the name, Getting on My Nerves. And I put together a whole plan, and I decided to give the Facial Pain Association another chance. Maybe that was just an auto reply. Maybe we could work together to make a difference. So early August, I met with the CEO of the Facial Pain Association, Allison Feldman. I was so excited to meet with her. I really thought that we could make a difference together. Boy, was I wrong. Allison does not suffer from facial pain, and knowing what I know now, I think that goes into how the association is ran. If you don't suffer from trigeminal neuralgia, how could you possibly give people the support that they need? They basically told me that Getting on My Nerves 5K was going to be too much to do for them. They didn't want to be involved. They tried to tell me to make a team associated with another established run, and maybe they would be involved with it. So I recognize now that that was their way of just pushing me off, because I had to email them to follow up when I found an established run to become associated with. And the run I had chose is the suicide awareness run. I thought that that was the perfect run for trigeminal neuralgia. I had never experienced suicidal ideation in my life ever before trigeminal neuralgia. There is no cure for trigeminal neuralgia. And for me, suicide seems like the easiest route at that time to end the pain when I don't know there's a cure. So I presented the FPA with the suicide awareness run, and they told me that they don't associate TN and suicide. My heart sank into my stomach at that moment, and I knew that we couldn't work together, that I had to do this by myself. And looking back now, I am so glad that the Facial Pain Association did what they did and said what they said, and has zero affiliation with Getting on My Nerves 5K. I started Getting on My Nerves 5K by my damn self, because this is what we deserve. We deserve awareness. We deserve people who care, people who actually know what we're going through. I had no idea what it was going to turn into. I thought I was going to start a virtual 5K, and my family was going to be the only ones who signed up. To date, my family hasn't signed up for the 5K whatsoever. Michael's family has not signed up for the 5K whatsoever. 262 worldwide participants signed up for the 5K. Oh my God, I cannot even, just saying it out loud just still gives me chills. We raised over $6,000 towards the Facial Pain Research Foundation. Unfortunately, they have let me down as well. I've asked them where the $6,000 went, and they can't tell me. They can't tell me what current research projects are going on. They won't let me in. They won't even acknowledge anything that Getting on My Nerves has become, or what we're doing for the community. So I've made the decision to have zero affiliation with both the Facial Pain Association and the Facial Pain Research Foundation. I am going to save our community. I am going to do the right thing. I know that we can do the right thing together. We don't need these associations. I don't know what they're doing with the money. If you can get answers, please fill me in, but I am being shadow banned by both associations. Even on the clinical research trials that I'm doing, I've had 2 studies come back and tell me that they're associated with FPA, and they can't give me any information. So we'll just have to get the answers ourselves. Feel free to jump in and ask FPA, ask FPRF what is going on. Let's get the answers ourselves. My goal for Getting on My Nerves is to give back to the community and to continue to spread awareness, because we need it. I know that if we work together and we get the word out together, we will get the message to the right people. Somebody out there is going to hear this and help us in the right way and for the right reasons. I have dreams of making MVD recovery kits and flare kits and giving them back to the community. If I had that $6,000 right now, that's what I would be doing. I would be making all those MVD recovery kits and sending them out to warriors that just had MVD, made by actual MVD warriors. I haven't had MVD, but I have connections to so many people, and they're all so helpful, and we're working together to make this a better place for us. I have dreams of a live 5K one day. I'm talking race for the cure status. We are all over. People know what the Getting on My Nerves 5K is all about, and it's about trigeminal neuralgia. And everybody knows how to say it and what the heck it is. Oh, I'm just getting chills. I'll open it for questions. I don't really know what else to say. I could talk for evermore. If you have any questions, just let me know. Let's see. Yes. So what about finding a facial pain clinic or program that may need some funding? So that's kind of what I'm trying to do right now with the clinical research trials. I'm trying to find one that we can, all get behind, maybe some studies that you guys are involved in. Trust me, if I find the right place that's going to do research for us, I am willing to partner with them and for us, but it has to be for the right reasons. 12 days post-op, so that would have been a recovery kit right there. I would have sent you one, and it would have been handmade by, warriors who have had MVD that are gonna tell me what that warrior needs, and we're gonna put it all together and send it to you, and you're not even gonna have to worry about anything. Guess what? A year later, I'm flaring, and I'm not alone. I know I can jump on Instagram, and I have so many friends to help me get through this flare, and I know that I can have a future. I can have a family. I see Max out there going to soccer practice today after she was flaring for 2 days. I see Teresa just traveling for work. I think she's 9 months post MVD. Correct me if I'm wrong, Teresa. But you guys are just superheroes, and you inspire me, and this is what I needed. I needed to know that there's other people out here thriving with this thing. I know that we can change the trajectory for all of us together, and I can't wait to do this with you. Thank you so much for being there with me and being vulnerable with me. I realize that I need to start being more vulnerable with you. I need to stop holding back and protecting these associations. I don't know why I'm doing it. I feel like everyone has had a bad experience with FPA. Once I started talking about that with other warriors, the stories just keep rolling around. So please don't feel like that's the only place that you need to go. We're gonna figure this thing out together. I know it's the very early stages. I can't promise you that I'm gonna start an association, but what I can promise you is I'm gonna make this 5K spread awareness all over the world. We had 262 participants last year. I know that we're just gonna have a kick-ass year this year. I love you guys. Thank you for being so vulnerable and strong and lifting me up and inspiring me. If you have any questions, just DM me. Have a great day.